Welcome to Coin Gang. Welcome to Coin Gang. It's your man Cam Billions back one more time and to do this thing. How are you today? What's good? What's good? You know what we do here at Coin Gang, man. This is ministry for the out the box thinker. This is ministry for the abstract mind. As always, you know how we started off. If you can hear me and you can see me, press one. Everything is right. We know we follow philosophy over here at Top Shelf or nothing. So if you can see me, press one, and if you can hear me, press two. If you can see me, press one, and if you can hear me, press two. I'm so glad to be here, back again to bring this abstract ministry for those out the box thinkers out there. I appreciate y'all. When you come in, give me a shout out so I can acknowledge you, so I can show you some love. And again, if you can see me, press one. And if you can hear me, go ahead and press that too. And we're going to get it in. I got a great conversation today. You know how we chop it up here. You know, when you come here, you leave better than when you came, right? When you walk through the door, you leave better than when you came, right? You leave better. You leave a different person. You leave a new being, right? And that's what it's about. So when you come through, say what's up to me, speak to me. You know what I mean? Let me acknowledge you. And then we will get started. Today, I want to talk about something that's super important that's been on my mind. It's something that's very interesting to me. Something that is quite a new phenomenon, right? It makes me chuckle because it's very interesting because it's a new world, right? I don't know this world, right? It's a new world. So we're going to talk about the other side of fear. We're going to talk about the desire to be free, the desire to be free. We're going to talk about study to show thyself approved. Have you ever heard that before? Have you ever heard study to show thyself approved? Have you ever heard that? Study to show thyself approved. Well, we are going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about the genuine article. Have you ever heard the term the genuine article? Have you ever heard that? Well, we're going to talk about that, right? That means the real thing. This is the genuine article, right? It's authentic. We're going to discuss that. And then we're going to finish it off and I'm going to ask a question. Where is your mind? Where is your mind? My topic for today is an interesting one. It is, why are men minding women's business? Now, I know some of you guys will say, not the guys around me. Fine. There's never 100% in anything, right? But there is a growing community of men that have their minds on women's business. And it is interesting to me because it is actually kind of a new phenomenon to have your mind on women's business. And there is no return on investment to have your mind there. So that's what makes this very interesting to me. And we are going to talk about that, right? Listen, let me show you something. Show you something very interesting to me. Let me see. This came from the philosopher Pythagoras, right? Pythagoras had a mystery school, okay? So this comes from a time where men used to look up at the heavens and wonder, okay? This comes from a time where men looked up at the heavens and contemplated about things, you know, cosmology and astrology, you know. These are science that was developed many millennia ago, okay? And different cultures had different cosmologies. I'm just pointing out Pythagoras because we use a lot of his thinking here in the West, you know? Okay. So this comes from a time period where men wondered about things. They were very curious about things. Okay. They explored. They questioned, they reasoned, they were curious about the nature of a thing. How do you think we have things like atoms and protons, right? That comes from human mental ingenuity of wondering about things, right? How you think we have the railroad or the telephone or the satellite? This comes from human wondering and problem solving. Okay? Everything you got in your house is based on a person wondering about it, wondering how it works, curiosity, right? The great inventors of the world, the Alexander Graham Bells, the Thomas Jeffersons, the Garrett Morgans, the list goes on. Okay? But it wasn't just looking up to the heavens to make things happen. No, 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 no. Man made things happen on earth as well. This is in the Turkey area. I want to pronounce it right. It's called Gobelik Tekbi. I could be butchering it. But it was recently discovered in the last 10, 15 years. Very, very, very old place to worship. Okay. So man didn't just look up to the heavens to create. Man also created structures and temples and places to worship, places for sacrifice, places for higher learning, right? There's a common theme around the world what the human mind is doing in antiquity. All right. Of course, you all know this is the Stonehenge. Why are people doing this though? Right? What's the purpose of it? Why are people doing this? I can't tell you, right? Everyone has a theory, and they they go as far as to say that aliens built it. That's how complex this stuff is. But it's a testament to human ingenuity. I respect it. In fact, I'm in awe, right? And I try to dedicate my time to build things for myself as well, because this stuff is very beautiful to me. It shows a lot of discipline. It shows a lot of character, right? Because this is not easy stuff to build. I'm going somewhere with this. Show you someone else, right? A lot of you people have seen this gentleman before. His name is Matthew Henson. I believe he was the first one to explore the Arctic, if I'm not mistaken. Exploration. But why though? Why? Right? The challenge to conquering your fear, you know, doing the unthinkable. Why though? Look at where these people allow their mind to travel. It's nothing less than phenomenal, right? Phenomenal. So you have astronomy, cosmology going on. You have places of worship being built, right? You have exploration, right? This stuff that these people are doing can get them killed, right? But it represents a time period. It represents an age, right? It represents an age. Okay? I want to I want to show you this what I mean, right? So, I've been talking for 8 minutes. Look, how long do you think it took these people to build this, right? This is to show you where man is at. How long did it take to build this? Right? That's a reflection of the mind of man right now. You understand? How long do you think it took to build this and this? How long do you think it took Pythagoras to come up with these ideals? Right? Now, if you don't get to the point in 2 minutes, right? A person can't pay attention. But that's my point, and I'm going somewhere with this. So you guys throw me an alley oop every time, I swear. Um, yeah, you make my point. So that's Matthew Henson. If you didn't know who Matthew Henson was, look him up, right? Look him up. Very, very important person. Okay, what you're looking at right here is the route that Lois and Clark traveled. They walked, by the way. Lois and Clark were mapping the West for Thomas Jefferson, right? And the places that they went were inhabited. There was life in these places. It was very, 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 very dangerous. Why am I showing this? Tell you in a second. But this is the route that Lois and Clark took, right? So they were mapping the West for Thomas Jefferson. Also, it's important to look at the map because what you think about the United States didn't exist at that particular time. You see, the Southwest or the West Coast is Spanish territory. The Midwest is belongs to the French, pretty much. So what you think of United States, it hasn't always been that. All right. Just a side note. All right, here we go. Look at man's mind yet again. Look at what man does with the mind. Okay? And here's where we're going. You see the shift? You see the change? Man's still improving on the design, right? Whether you like the technology or not. This is human invention. This is human ingenuity. This is innovation. This is where the world is going. Men are dreaming, improving on the design. But there is a particular set of men that are not dreaming, that are not improving on the design, that are offering no contribution. In fact, the particular men I'm talking about are devolving. I like to build up my story. I like to build up my story, right? No, I don't bash dudes. I talk about a particular dude. Let's be clear. Because I'm talking about a particular dude in this build right here, because a particular dude is talking about body counts, women's nails, hair, and makeup. It's a particular dude. And this dude is devolving. And that's what I'm talking about. Now, I showed you another dude of that community that I'm talking about, right? And he went to explore the Arctic. Courage and bravery that he showed. But the body of men that I'm talking about have fell way far from exploration, from wondering, from curiosity, right? Wanting to be a part of a mystery school, right? Wanting to be a part of a community of men that question the nature of a thing, right? Come up with scientific breakthroughs. Yeah. We're far from that. We are here. The de-evolution of a particular man. And I'm talking about a specific man because the Spirit told me to talk about it, so I got to do the Lord's work. My topic for today is why are men minding women's business? Now, I'm talking about a particular man, and you should know what man that I'm talking about. But it's interesting because that man doesn't really have room to talk about hair, nails, body count, female nature, because that man is not in good standing. And it's not righteous the way that man conducts himself in these places. Do you know the internet is all over the world? Do you know everybody can hear your conversations? You know they can see you, right? A deaf person can just put caption on and they can read what you're saying. Someone in another country could just translate your words. So if I wanted to look at a certain group of people, how they were doing in America, I would just hop online. I would just hop online, right? And the conversation that is being had by the particular group of men in America, it is in the trash. Let me tell you why it's in the trash. And I suggest and I recommend that you shift your conversation because it's people coming up under you, right? And they're going to follow your lead because we mirror neurons. They're going to follow your lead and want to be just like you and talk just like you and sound just like you. But they're going to inherit the problems that you didn't want to fix. Let's look at some of the problems. Make this bigger so you can read. So this is an article that I got from the Brookings Institute. So I wanted to go down, right? I'm going to go just straight to the area that I want. But basically, this is an article about a think tank that has to come together to fix the problem for black men and boys. Oh, dang, I gave it away. Right, right. I gave it away. Now you know who I'm talking about, right? So a think tank has to come together to fix the issues of the problem of black men and boys. But why do people in politics and academia, even international minds, have to come together to fix the problem of black men and boys? When you guys have panels and you be in barbershops and you talk to each other, how come outsiders have to come and fix you, right? Now, I could see if you didn't have any contact with each other, but you do. You have contact with each other. So if you're going to talk to each other, then talk about fixing your issues. Like Mr. Neely Fuller said, quote, unless black people are talking serious, they should leave each other alone. Another quote by Neely Fuller. The black people are serious about stupid things and stupid about black people are serious about stupid things and stupid about serious things. Shout out to Neely Fuller. So I can see if you had no contact with each other. You have contact, and I be listening, and I give everybody an open mind because I love to learn, and I'm a student. So I want to see what everybody is talking about. And when it's time to talk, right? When it's time to talk, there's a particular conversation y'all have. It's always about women and single moms and taking a woman with mental illness that is acting completely out of control and using her as a template for the conversation. But you got to remember that little boys are watching. Don't forget that. And those little boys have questions and those little boys have problems, right? And you're not addressing those boys' problems. You're not addressing those boys' issues, right? That's a mistake. So I just went to the Brookings Institute, right? And it was some interesting things because they talked about 8 key areas that was affecting black American boys and men, right? 8 key areas. Whew. Let's talk about them. So, in 2019, which is only 2 years ago, 28% of black men ages 25 to 29 had a bachelor's degree or higher, compared to 30% of black women, over 40% of white men, and nearly half of white women, according to the National Center of Education Statistics in 2019. The gap is greater still at higher education levels. Only half as many black men have a master's degree, 4%, as black women, 9%. White men 8% and white women 13%. Sure, you're gonna say cap. I already know. It's cap, right? If you don't like what it says, it's cap, right? But if I say 51% of black men are unmarried and childless, you won't question the statistic, right? But then if I say, what are the ages of the men? Are you talking about 18 to 29 or are you talking about 18 to 60? You see how the conversation changes? But you'll always say cap if the conversation doesn't represent what you want it to represent. But that's a problem though, because it's people here that's coming to participate in the free market and they're real strong on education. And it's also a problem because black men in America have a background of education. And I was taught that you honor your mothers and your fathers. So the way that you honor your mothers and your fathers would be to carry on tradition, right? So black Americans have a history of education at a high level, right? So to see a number like this between those ages, which is important, 25 to 29, who has time to talk about hair, makeup, and nails? Who has time to talk about what woman is for the streets? Huh? That who has time to talk about what woman is for the streets? For the streets, her body count. Wow. Interesting, right? Let's keep it going. Upward mobility. This is a real important, right? Black women and white women raised by low income parents, those in the bottom 20% of income distribution, have similar rates of upward intergenerational mobility measured in terms of their individual income as adults. Black men, by contrast, are much less likely than white men to rise up in the income ladder, according to Raj Chetty and his team at Opportunity Insights, who have crunched the numbers on 20 million Americans in 1978 through 1983 birth cohorts. Mm. A third of white men raised by low-income parents end up in the 40% of income distribution as adults, compared to only 19% of black boys. The figure below shows the probability of moving up the income ladder for children raised by low-income parents by race. The data shows that black men raised by low-income parents face twice the risk of remaining stuck in intergenerational poverty, 38%, as black women 28% in terms of their individual income. So just reading that, I think that it would be wise for you to delay having a child. It also will be wise to think twice about who you have a child with, because the likelihood of them getting out of that situation when we coming from the bottom is low. So just because we can do something don't mean we should do something, right? And the only way that you're going to mate differently is if the politicians create legislation and say that you have to have a skill before you have a child. We just want to have babies, right? And it's very interesting that people think that the system is against them and the system is oppressive, but they still have a child. How is that not child abuse? If you think that this world gives you no shot to win, why would you bring a child into the world? Why would you bring a child into the world with that mindset? Why, as a man, would you get a woman pregnant and you think that the system doesn't appeal to you? So, what is the agenda for your baby? What is the expectations of the child? Do you have one or no? Right? However, black women fare far worse in terms of household income than individual income, especially compared to whites, itself a reflection in part of the worst outcomes for black men. There's a chart. Okay, earnings. Earnings. It's important because if black men talk to each other, what else are you going to talk about besides health, money? What kind of books you reading? Why are you talking about your preferences? That's a personal thing, as if I can solve that problem. What does it mean exactly? Why are you getting with other men to talk about your preference in women? Why get with other men to talk about the kind of girls you like and the kind of girls I like and the kind of woman I want and the kind of woman you want? That's not the conversation of a people that thinks that they're oppressed. A person that thinks that they're oppressed, your chin should be up. So when you talk to another man, you're going to talk real sharp. You're going to talk about skills. You're going to talk about how to do something, or you're not going to talk at all. Do you know that based on, it was a lot of European pseudoscience that thought that the Negro was not capable of abstract thinking or intelligence. They created scientific racism and they thought that the Negro had got lost in time and hadn't evolved. And that the only thing that the Negro could do is games and play. That if the Negro is not games and play, then the Negro is not doing anything. It's hard to say there's a lie there. Have you seen the crate challenge? But when it comes to abstract thinking, things that require you to go above the neck, the Negro is not at the lunch table. But if there is an immature conversation going on in a chat room, especially if it's about women, who's there? And what is your conversation? Single moms. But I'm just reading you a stat that's showing you children born in low income environments, what their opportunity for upward mobility. So if you create a single mother, how is that not child abuse? Especially if she's in a low income area. How is that not child abuse? How is that not child abuse? When the probability of that child doing something with their life is extremely low. How is that not child abuse? I think you might want to question the conversations that y'all have about single moms, because y'all having the wrong conversation, especially if societally it's expected that the man is the leader. Hmm? Hmm? So where's the leader? So the leader left a woman and a child. I don't care if she got an attitude problem. I don't care about that. It's too late to talk about that, right? I don't care if she petty. As the leader, you put your seed in somebody, and you put your seed in somebody in a low income area. If you step away from that child, sir, to do any other thing, that's child abuse. Because y'all like statistics, right? And based on the statistics, a child born into a low income environment plus a child growing up without his father in the home, what is the likelihood that that child does something with themselves, grows up to have financial health, emotional health, psychological health? Huh? Yeah, every now and then there are outliers. Oh, but LeBron made it. Yeah, LeBron is 6'9", 260. Well, this person made it, of course. There's always going to be outliers. But what is the probability? All right. I don't think it's wise for you to have conversations about women's cosmetics. And we'll get into the genuine article later. Because if you really that dude, your influence can make people change. So you don't have to say anything. If you're that guy, people want to change for you. They want to emulate your mindset. So why have conversation about cosmetics? Just be the genuine article and people want to be like you. All right, let's keep it going. Black workers, regardless of gender, earn less than white workers, and white men have substantially out-earned white women and black workers since 1980, according to current population survey data. For both black and white workers, men earn more, but the gender gap is much smaller for black workers. The figure below shows the weekly earnings of full-time workers, hourly and non-hourly, for black and white workers by gender since 1980. The results are striking. Black men earn 378 less per week than white men and $125 less than white women. Overall, white women have seen the biggest increase in earnings, overtaking black men in the 1990s. Now, the interesting thing is, if based on the numbers, white women make more than black men, right? But when white men often, I'm sorry, when when black men get with, let me take it back. By the numbers, if white women make more than black men, it boggles my mind that black men are not hypergamous with white women. That's interesting, right? So you have these preferences in women, right? And the white woman, based on the numbers, makes more than you collectively. But when you talk about white women, you talk about the vagina. Oh, she's submissive. Oh, she's a lot of fun, right? But how much money does she make? How come you're not hypergamous with your preferences if your preferences are doing better than you? Because you know men can practice hypergamy too. You know that, right? So You talk great about white women, and that's fine. You talk great about white women. White women are this and black women are that. You talk great about white women. But what you never talk about is breaking no pockets, though. Right? What you never talk about is, yeah, I got with this woman and she sponsored my life. Because that's the kind of thinking I would expect an intelligent person to do, especially if you say you're from the bottom and collectively y'all say this is your enemies and these are the people that oppressed you. All right, this is what y'all say. So when you're in that environment with these people, what are you talking about? You come in those environments and don't even talk about the money. See, this is the thing. Let me tell you how Ken Billions thinks. If I would date I would date based on stereotypes. So if I was a white woman and I got with a black man, him not being well endowed wouldn't be acceptable because I'm a date off the stereotype. So if I'm a date with a if I'm a date a white woman, she's not gonna be broke. That makes no sense. That doesn't make any sense. If you're going to date based on the preferences, or you can stick with your group and thug it out and go through what you're going through. Right? If I was to date a Latino woman, I would expect hard work. Right? There's some truth in stereotypes. They're not all true, but there's some truth in some stereotypes. And if I'm going to date out, I'm going to date based on the stereotype. I'm going to be hypergamous as hell. Or I could just mess with the Keishas. I can mess with the Renees, like with the, right? And I'm definitely not going to make videos and content about what black women are or aren't, and the other that I'm dating ain't even got no money. But y'all use the word sip, but y'all ain't even no max or no players. You ain't even going in other cultures campaigning, making it happen. But y'all use that word simp though. Right? So, interesting. Let's keep it going. Labor participation. The labor force participation rate for black men aged 20 and over is 5.6%, points lower than white men. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates. Note that this excludes the incarcerated population. Many men and women face different considerations when deciding to participate in the labor force. So here we simplify. We compare black men and white men in terms of labor participation. Let me see. It's going down. When is this? In 1972, labor participation for black men was 78%. It's at, according to 2020, 66. Now, I will say this is also because corporations outsourced a lot of jobs. So you see it's going down for white men too, though. Right? So a lot of jobs that men used to do, there's a robot to do that job, and it's going to continue climbing. This is why it's important, if we're going to have conversations with each other, we got to talk about money, because there's a real thing going on outside where our world is changing, right? Automation is real. Okay? The jobs that men once had, they are not there no more. Men used to be able to grandfather their son and grandsons into a factory job and retire off those jobs. And those jobs was able to feed an entire family and put the children through school. And a lot of times the women ain't want for nothing. Those jobs are gone. What has replaced them jobs is automation. And corporations, their job is to make money for their shareholders. So they have outsourced those jobs for cheap labor. So when the men are getting together to have a conversation, what else is there to talk about? Think about that for a second. You got a group of men together. What is the convo about? Preferences. And then y'all say men are finally speaking up. What? If you're going to speak up, you speak up in a way that keeps your jobs in America. You're speaking up about the wrong thing. You're speaking up about how women look and behave. Okay? What you need to speak up about is the fact that American jobs are leaving the country, the fact that automation are replacing manual labor, the fact that there's an influx of immigrants into the country and they are your competition as well. What do you mean men are finally speaking up? That's what y'all want to speak up on? Preferences? Yeah, man, yeah, because, man, yeah, I like this kind of woman. I like that kind of woman. And you know that aligns with the thinking of scientific racism that the Negro is incapable of abstract thought. The Negro is incapable of reason and logic and rhetoric and complex problem solving. Y'all make the case for it that outside of basketball, football, sports, entertainment, where is the Negro, right? It's only one Neil Tice DeGreason. It's only one Maurice Ashley, chess grand champion. It's only one. You remove them, where's the representation in paleontology, in anthropology, in archaeology, as a mathematician? Where's the representation? That's a mute conversation for real. Where's the representation in higher learning? Right? I'm just saying. Because y'all having conversations with each other and y'all talk dumb. Right? Real dumb. What about men's health? Oh, we'll get into that in a second. Let's get into that. Right? Unemployment during COVID-19. Here's why it's real interesting, the conversation y'all having. Black men have the highest unemployment rate of civilian, non-institutionalized black and white men and women over 20, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. There was a race gap in unemployment independent of gender even before COVID-19 swept the US. Prior to March 2020, black men consistently had among the highest unemployment rates of black and white workers. Unemployment shot up for everyone in April, and black women faced higher unemployment than black men for 2 months. As unemployment began to fall for most in June, black men's unemployment rose and remained high through September. The last month's data is unavailable. Okay. September, 26%, 12.6% of black men were unemployed compared to 6.5% of white men. How many black men is in the country? Hold on one second. Hold on. Let's do the numbers. Let me look on my phone 1 second. How many black in America? Okay. So according to the census data, as of 2019, there's 19.9 men that identify as black in America. 19.9 million. I'm sorry. So for my math people out there, solve this problem for me. What is 12.6% of 19.9 million? What's that number? What's that look like? What is, I could do it. Let me see. What is 12.6% of 19.9 million? 12.6% of 19.9 million is 2,507,400. Y'all having the wrong conversation. Listen to this number again. 2,507,400. Man, this how many men out of work. See, this tells me y'all don't like black men. How could you? Black men don't care about black men. How could you? Because if you cared about other black men, then you would have upright conversations with each other. Because as of 2019 and because of COVID, 2.2 and a half million men was unemployed. What are they doing? What are they doing actually? What are y'all saying to these men? Or y'all talking to the women? Do you know why you talking to the women and about the women? Because it's hard to lead men. Because men are hard-headed. Men are rebellious. They're not going to listen to you. You got to show and prove. You got to show actual leadership characteristics. Because let me tell you this, if you can make a woman submit, you can also make a man submit. And I don't mean sexually, weirdo. Because how can you make the women submit, right? But then when you get over to men, you submit. No, 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 no. If you that guy, if you a leader, your leadership doesn't stop in one place. That is all around the board. Now you might be around other superior leaders, and then it's just next man up. You wait your turn. But if your conversation is about women submitting to you, well, what about your leadership with other men? Do men listen to you? Do men follow you? Do you have a realm of influence over them? That if you're fasting, they'll fast too. If you on this grind, they're on that grind too. Can you inspire them to get up and rise like Lazarus out the grave? Or it only applies to women when you talk about your influence? But those numbers are staggering. 12.6% of 19.9 million. Hmm. What are y'all talking about? Right? But y'all popping though. Y'all popping though, right? Y'all them guys, right? No, you not them guys if when you talk to each other, you're talking about women's preferences. No, you have to have a money preference. You like fiat or you like crypto? That's it. We got to have a money conversation, not a woman conversation, right? Men are speaking up. Speaking up about what? I'd be highly offended if I was a young dude. If I was looking for information because I don't got a dad in the home or an uncle in the home and everybody shot out. And then when I come across men, y'all, this is the conversation you give me? Come on. What's the expectation for these boys? Y'all don't really care because this is about women putting women in their place and femininity and submissiveness and dress size and who's obese and comparing cultures. What woman of another group does what compared to this woman? Then you have to ask yourself, is it true, right, about the scientific racism consider pertaining to the Negro intellect? Because look what the Negro focus on. It's games and play. Let's keep it going. Life expectancy. Women live longer than men on average, but there are big race gaps too. Life expectancy is the lowest for black men among black and white people. So this is an interesting thing, especially for the content creators and the men in your spaces when you talk about a woman is gonna die alone. She's gonna die alone anyway if she's with you. She's gonna have to get a dog anyway, right? It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. She's gonna die anyway. You got the lowest life expectancy. Black man is the most likely to die prematurely. Do you know why that's asinine? You know, the argument is because a lot of guys don't have insurance for dental checkups. They don't even know if they're sick or not. Cholesterol levels, diabetes. And when y'all talk to each other, y'all don't, hey, bro, how's your sugar? That's a real conversation. Hey, fam, how's your sugar? He probably don't know. He probably don't have nothing to check his sugar. You know how diabetes is something that a lot of black men have. They don't even know their sugar's that high, right? And then they go out drinking and pass out a damn diabetic coma. Why? You don't get no checkups. You know why? Because we're not taught to take care of ourselves. Do you know why? It's because no one tells us to. Do you know why? It's because when we're talking to other men, they talk to us dumb. They talk to us dumb, right? You're not even talking to a group of people that get physicals and get checkups and know what's going on with them. You don't have time to talk about hair and nails. You really don't. I'm not even playing. I'm not capping. You don't have the time to talk about that. Your health is an issue. It's just the women are easy targets, right? And it's interesting. You pointing at them while you got high sugar and high cholesterol and 12.6 and and a 12.6 um, unemployment. And what happens is, let me tell you who's really doing y'all a disservice. Black men in higher classes than you. The black men that have more money than you keep you as fanboys, right? And got you honoring a bro code, but they don't honor it. You see, their children does not live like your children. His health is not like your health, right? But when he talks to you about race. He finds an enemy for you. It's the women. It's the system, right? It's the same thing that it's a revolving thing. Successful black men don't talk to other black men about success. Well, they do on the golf course when they're at the same class as them. But the black men that aspire to be rich, aspire to have a wife and kids, aspire to live the American dream. When you're listening to your black elite in these higher classes, they don't even talk about success principles to you. And these people been rich for 30 years, but what they will talk to you about is race. How much you think Don Lemon makes? I don't care about his sexual preference. He's a black man, right? Or Van Jones. But let's do Don Lemon. Don Lemon net worth. Just want to tickle myself for a sec. Don Lemon's according to celebrity net worth is $4 million. This is a rich black man on CNN that talks to other black men and black people about race and oppression. He's making $4 million a year, according to this. You think I want to hear a rich person tell me about oppression? Clearly, it's not working on him. But that's the same for all these blacks at a higher on a higher class level. When they talk to other blacks lower than that class level, they talk to you about race and they put it in your mind of why you can't do it. Then you don't just have those in mainstream media. You have the black men at a higher class on the internet as well. They won't talk to you about their day to day, but what they will talk to you about is women, right? And why women are the root of your problems. Come on, man. They don't love you because someone that loves you gonna pass love to you. They're looking at you and they want what you got. So tell them how to get it. But if you tell them how to get it, they're no longer fans. They're equals. Wow. COVID-19 death. Black men have been the most likely among black and white Americans to die of COVID-19 at a rate 2.4 times that of white men, according to CDC data. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? But y'all talking about hair and nails? That's what y'all talking about? And I'm talking about real things. That's what y'all talking about? Hair, nails, makeup. But you're dying of COVID. You the most out of work. Right? Come on. You see what I mean? Hold on. Have you noticed that all your followers that ride with you are majority female? Your talking points are based in facts. Because the conversation men have nowadays isn't what you're talking about. So it's cap. It's cap, right? So this is not based in facts that black men are the most likely to die of COVID. That's not even funny. That's not funny. I don't give a damn who's in the chat and who the follower is. I don't care. I don't care. And I notice when the conversation is about hair and nails, women ain't in the chat. It's men in the chat. So what are you seeing? I don't give a damn. I'm going to do the Lord's work. Care who's in the chat. Hold on. Black men have the lowest life expectancy? Those ain't facts? Hold on. So these ain't facts. Black men got 12.6 unemployment? Those ain't facts? Those ain't facts. Black men are out of the labor force? So I'm confused. I'm confused. Black men earn less than white men and white women? Those ain't facts? It's very unlikely for a black male child that's born in a low area to get out. That's not facts. Oh, okay. Okay. Uh, Black men face a higher chance of being incarcerated. Come on, man. This is not funny. This is not funny. So when men are talking to each other, like Neely Fuller said, if you're not going to talk about real things with each other, leave each other alone. There's nothing to say to one another if you're not going to talk about real things, because you're only going to engage in games and play. Now, that's what Neely Fuller was talking about. Go hide at him. Holla at him. If I'm chilling with black men, I'm talking about real things, or I'm taking my ass home. I'm going home, yo. because it's real outside. I'm not talking about no damn preferences. I'm not getting with other black men to talk about what women are doing. That's lame. And if I'm going to speak up in regard to food, clothes, and shelter, yo. Is you tripping? I'm not getting with other men. First off, it's difficult to get other men together. That's first off. Second off, if we do come together, I'm not having a conversation about hair, makeup, weave, body counts, what women are doing. I'm not having none of that. You know why? Because I'll be 40 years old in 3 years, and I need to talk to other men about the transition, about what 40 feel like. What does it looks like? What is it? What is it? You know what I'm saying? I need to know because that's my next phase. So I don't want to have frivolous conversation with men. I'm dead serious about life. I got questions. I ain't have my father around. I got some questions about this man thing. And I don't want to spend that time talking about no damn women cosmetics, especially if we not selling it. Now, if you want to have a conversation about hair, makeup, nails, all that, I'm with you. Sell it though. For that not to be your business, you spend a lot of focus on that. Be some hustlers. You know the women buy hair. Sell it, sell it. Hop on Alibaba and see if you could get bulk makeup for the low. Sell it. If you know the women get their face beat, why wouldn't you sell it? Because there are men that sell makeup. Revlon, that's a man. Sell it. Be some industrialists. That would make sense, right? Right? If y'all talk about single moms and y'all really think that's a problem, who's gonna go into the condom business? Huh? New types of condoms. Huh? Who makes Magnum condoms? Is that even that's not a black company, right? But they make condoms for your size though. So if you want to talk about uh single mothers and all that, be some hustlers. Okay, flip it around. If you know women are having babies, sell baby clothes. So if you know the women, no matter what, are gonna keep having babies out of wedlock and all that, cool, sell onesies. You can hop on wholesale sites right now and get everything you want. Bottles, pacifiers. You want to make money or you want to talk about women? Why talk? If you saying that the woman is the biggest consumer, sell her something. What you selling? You mad at Derek Jackson because he sold him something? Nigga, sell him something. I was trying not to use the N word. I slipped. Spirit was starting to take over. What I'm saying though, then when a man finds something to sell, oh, he's a panderer. He's selling. I don't care about his message. It's not for you. He's selling something. He found a niche. That makes sense. Y'all mad at Derek Jackson. Kevin Samuels does the same thing to y'all. It's the same thing. Make you feel better about yourself. There's a niche for that. I don't hate Kevin Samuels for that. There's good business. He found a niche. The market talked. The market talked. So instead of having the wrong conversation about women, find out what they like and sell it to them. That makes more sense. You know how Malcolm said, look, keep your religion at home, keep your preferences at home. Focus on the market. What are women buying? That makes sense, right? Right? I'm saying though, why don't you supply all the things you said y'all don't like? That's how I think, right? Because I be out here mashing for my rations. I don't do no bro code. I don't stand on none of that. I'm not trying to be homies, right? I operate with a strict code. And if you don't operate in that code, I'm not rocking with you. And you might not rock with me. And I'm cool. I don't do the goofies, right? I do the how can I make me some paper? Legal. But I'll be damned if I'm sitting with other men and we're talking about women and their preferences, and not one of us ever mentions, yo, let's put our money together to get some shit wholesale so we can sell it to them. Y'all say they the biggest consumers, right? This is what y'all say. I'll be selling condoms, tampons, pads, anything. You go in the hood right now, and it ain't even dudes from there selling women hair. Like, yo, women buying bags of hair. Why they ain't buying it from the black men? Y'all should know women's hair better than someone else from another culture. You grew up with women in your house. You got women cousins. Why you not selling it? So then what are y'all doing then? Because you can't mess with me. You can't love me. But when we come together, you talking down. I'm not about to talk down if we hanging out. I'm gonna put our head. Yeah, we can laugh, we can joke. Don't get it twisted. We can laugh, cool. There's a time limit for that though, because life is real, right? And I'm preparing myself to be an elder, so I don't really got time to be BSing. Let's make some money first, and then we can kick it. How can we work together to make some bread? You and me. I don't need the collective to come together. You and your man, you and your partner, right? You and the people on your timeline. You don't need everybody. How can y'all come together to get some products to sell to the women? And this funny thing is, that's what y'all don't say, right? Y'all say the women is not submissive. That one thing y'all never say is they not buying off you. You know why? Because you ain't got nothing to sell. I never hear y'all say that. They not spending with me. You ain't got nothing to sell. What you selling? You having the wrong conversation. Yeah, these BWs, they don't support us. What kind of support? What's better than financial support? Because they support Trey Songz. what's better than financial support? What kind of support you want? Want your back rub? What y'all want, man? Y'all want you want your back rub? You want them to say make good statuses about the black man? What? You want the you want you want real talk with Yanni to say nice things about you? Right? Huh? You want Sin G to say, I love black men. That's what y'all want? That's support? That's what y'all call support? Huh? What you want? Huh? You want Kendall St. Charles to say the black man's melanin is popping, right? You want Crystal and Carolyn to be like, the black man is the original man. That's support? You like symbolism, huh? The best support you can ever get is money support. Sell something. Because that's what I don't hear. I Don't hear y'all saying, yo, I got all this, man. My product is good. My advertising is good. And they not buying with me. You're not saying that because y'all not doing that. Right? Y'all want the wrong. I don't care about none of that other support. I'm focused on capitalism. That's how I process love. You give me some money? I'm like, oh yeah, what's up? I open right up. Watch. Let me show you. Right. Watch how I open up. Right. This is what I do. Shout out to you for the super chat. This is what I do. This is how I open up. That's what I do. I do the Transformers. Right. That's what I do. That's how I open up. That's support to me. I don't need. I don't need. I don't need nothing else, man. I'm grown. I'm grown. You see? You want to get me to open up? Look, I do it one more time, right? I got all the moves. I got a whole different character when that come through, right? I'm usually mild, but man, when the spirit of abundance comes upon me, I just gotta let it out. Look, watch. I got dances and everything. I'm a whole different dude. I'm playful because that's support to me. Watch, I got moves, Dougie. Come on, man. What? That's support. That's support to me. I don't need nobody to tell me my melanin is popping. I don't need no one to tell me, black man, you the original man, cream of the crop. I don't need none of that. None of that. Put some money on the dresser. That's me. Right? You see, I gotta check my tone 5 minutes ago. You see the difference? That's support. That's what I'm talking about. Sell something. You know what I'm saying? Sell something. You're having the wrong conversation. BWs. I'll be like, yo, what y'all talking about? Right? I need to take a drink. Right? So we'll be right back because, man, we just heating up. You know, this is Cool and Gang Ministries. Ministry and content for the out the box thinker, content for the abstract mind. Right? Y'all think you can shame me, having females in your chat. What does that mean? What's that mean? Y'all say that when females be at the club early, that's where y'all be at, right? What's that mean? Right? Righteousness don't give a damn who in the chat. Truth don't give a damn who in the chat, right? What are we standing on? You know, I don't run my commercial. Of course, because I'm a campaigner. That's why. You know what I'm saying? I got a professional finesse to do. That's what I used to do before this. I used to finesse. Talk about my old life. So we'll be right back. Let me take a drink. Stay right there. Like and share the video. Don't let nobody trick you into thinking that you can't do it. Don't let nobody trick you into thinking that you was just born to suffer. Right. Don't let nobody trick you into believing that your dreams are impossible. See, when you got game, you can make the impossible possible. When you got game, you defy the odds. Yo. When you got game, you make things happen. Things don't happen to you. Talk that shit, Ken. All things is possible with game, baby. Take it from me. I done did it from Maine to Spain. Come through the door with it. My game cost me. I paid for it. So you should too. Hit that cash app. Pay like you weigh. Whatever you got is good, baby. Just bring it to the table. Can't billions. Somebody said my mic is off. Is it back on? Are we good? You can hear? Press 1 if we good. What about now? We straight? Said it was muffled. What about now? We straight? I just need one and we ready to go. Good. All right. All right. Shout out to y'all in the chat. Look, our next topic is the desire to be free. Do you know why men are talking about hair and makeup and nails and women twerking? Do you know why? It's because honestly, men have a desire to be free. When women are dancing on the table, twerking in restaurants, twerking on Collins, painting their hair, whatever, wearing what they want, you know what that represents? Freedom. So you'll hear men now be like, but if a man did it, right? Men want to have some double standards too. They want to be the best beneficiary of double standards, right? See, women represent freedom and men are jealous. You know why? Because to be a man is hella hard. Especially if you don't have no father or uncles or grandfathers to pass you anything, right? So a lot of men are forced to go to the streets and get it from the muscle, right? Because there are men that really want to put on, really want to provide. It's channeled in the wrong area. And they wind up in jail or dead, right? A man is not gonna put another man on. You ain't his family. So when you starting from scratch, it's hard. And that pressure to be a man, to put up, to come to the table with something, right? To get yourself in the door, make something for yourself, right? That pressure, men don't want that. Not now. They don't want that. Okay? They don't want that. They want the freedom that women have, right? Not all, but y'all know who I'm talking about. These black males are damsels in distress, scared of the grind, scared of tough times, right? They want to be saved, right? Goldman Sachs do something for black women. They're like, hey, what about us? Well, what about you? This country used to do a thing called coverture. Coverture was when a woman was absorbed into the husband. She could not own anything. Anything that she had, it went directly to the husband. Now, if you was born male at that time, you didn't do anything to earn that. The structure made that happen. Couldn't get a bank account, couldn't do certain things for a man. When the system was catering to you, it was all good, right? I know you didn't think that the way women were was how it was by nature, right? A lot of it is by legislation and force. But you didn't earn it, right? You was just born male. And a woman had to go through you for upward mobility. And there was no problem, right? You never thought for 1 second, damn, what do they think? You never considered if they like that or not. So now, things switch around because nature always does. And you don't like it. Now you're like, there's an attack on masculinity. And that's puzzling because who's doing the attacking? Now, interesting enough, do you attack your own masculinity from your diet? Do you attack your own masculinity from your crowd, from your mentality? The system is attacking your masculinity. Okay? So what are the foods you can eat to up it? What's the plant? Right? Uh-oh, because then we would actually deal with the real word, which is testosterone. Your testosterone is low. What is masculinity and how do people attack it? How do you fight back? Right? You want to be more assertive? Up your testosterone. Ambitious, sexual? Up your testosterone. What hormone produces masculinity in the body? Where does that come from in the body? If I cut you open right now and I begin to do an audit on your body, where would I find masculinity in your body? Dumb talk. But you want to be damsels in distress, though. You in distress, right? I've been through the mud and willing to go through it again, right? I don't want to be no damn damsel, though. And I'm not trying to have that conversation about what the women are doing because I know if I show up as the genuine article, I'm going to put my whole environment in my reality, right? And and if you practice psychic defense, then you'll repel what's not yours. Let's find a book on psychic defense because you got to be solution based, right? Let's find a book real quick. Hold on. One second. I'm going to post it. There's books for this. All right. Put in the chat. One second. Books on. Bulletproof. Look. Something like this, right? So if you're in this mindset, do you believe that these evil, wicked women that y'all talk about, do you believe that they will find you? Boom. Psychic defense and well-being. What is psychic defense? Psychic defense is repelling things away from you intentionally, right? And attracting the things that you want. But it's repelling the things that are not good for you. Also, it's not allowing anybody to get in your mind. Now, this is what men, in my opinion, should talk about with each other. Hey, man, it's been hard for me to get focused lately. I got a lot of projects. I could be overwhelmed. What is a way for me to stay focused? Well, then you would get in a conversation of, you know what, you have a lot on your mind. It could be because you're being attacked somewhere, right? So let's come up with a guide, steps, a 1-2 that you can do to repel that away from you. Oh, okay. But that looked like that's too much like right? I just went to Amazon and grabbed the first thing I can find. I don't have this book, but I have other books though. But I'm saying though, this is what I would pass to a dude because I know, especially when you have a lot of things going for you, I know the mind is just it's hard to be still. So you need some techniques. You need a discipline that you can go to so to put you in the right spot to repel away certain thinking, right? Psychic defense. But guess what? Guess where that kind of thinking comes from? Remember the beginning when I started? This is when man was really, really tapping into psychology. Do you know at Pythagoras's mystery school, to even enter, to be an initiate, you had to keep silent for 3 to 5 years. You couldn't even talk. That's how you were vetted. And what they would do is they would use your family members against you. So if you even said, "Hey, pass me the butter," you're done. You're disqualified. Pythagoras studied in Egypt and Babylon. He was a mathematician. So in order to get those secrets, you had to show that you were worthy. So you were tested, right? So psychic defense comes from psychology, all right? And that's what man is, psychology. And it says a lot about your psychology if you get with other men and your conversation is about hair, makeup, and nails. That says something about your psychology because it's too common. Y'all really tripping off a woman's eyebrows. Why? She's not even in your family and you're not even connected to her. Why do what they do matters? What's the issue? And I understand it's hard to be a man. It's difficult. You don't think I get scared to lead a family? I'm doing this solo dolo. Ain't got nobody to call to ask, yo, I'm out here. Trial and error. I try one thing. If it doesn't work, I pivot and do something else. Right? To be responsible for a woman, to be responsible for a child. Because if anything goes bad, it's on you. Right? The world is actually never gonna blame the woman. That's just what y'all do. If a woman got a dude in her life and anything goes left, they're always gonna look at the guy. Even if it ain't his fault, they're always gonna look at the guy. Hell yeah, that's scary. But you show up for it. This man thing ain't easy. It's hard. It's difficult. You might go in the corner and cry at night because, yo, it's just you. Man, trust me, I get it. You can't tell me no story I don't understand. I totally understand, right? You might cry at night because ain't nobody there. Just you, right? But you can do it though, because men have did it with less before you and will continue, right? And you just show up and you got to do the hardest thing. The hardest thing to do as a man is to admit I don't got the answers right now. And trust me, that right there is difficult, it's hard, it's to tell your woman, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Instead of crashing and burning, instead of hitting your head, right? And if you are with a woman that you can't look over and say something like that to, you got to make a move because you need a space where you can say that. You didn't say you're giving up, right? You didn't say you tapping out, but you are admitting, as of today, babe, I don't know. I'm going to find out though, but I don't know. That's real. Man, you only 25. How the hell you supposed to know? 30. How the hell you supposed to know? 40. Because to an 80-year-old, you a young man. Perspective, right? So we all get to these seasons where you just don't got the answers. And sometimes it's not even you. Sometimes something is happening in the cosmos that's blocking you, right? So you can be grinding hard as hell, moving forward, putting all your energy forward, and nothing is coming to you. Well, there could be a cosmic block, and you got to wait until it opens up. But until then, you stay down, right? But I understand about not having the answers. I understand having egg on your face. I understand being grown as hell with no money in your pocket, maybe bad investments, gambling, the trap ain't come back. You name it. I get it, right? I get it. but you always man though, right? 100 million, $100. You always man, okay? And this is why you have to wake up before everybody to work on your manhood. How do you work on your manhood? You work on your manhood psychologically, because man is not a gender. It's a psychology. It's a reality. It's something that every male can't be, right? So to work on your manhood, you got to play in your head a little bit, right? And disassociate and work on your psychology from the outside in, right? You chisel at your psychology, right? You take out the things that don't work and put things in there that do work. You sit in your chair and you rock back and forth and you contemplate, right? And you allow your transmutation, right? You freeze the male body to tap into the psychology of man, which is not of this realm. Man don't come from here. Male does. Male is something you got to grab from the cosmos, right? The male, every male can't be man, but every man can be male. It's easy. You're male when you have sex. You're male when you eat food. You're male when your biological urges are triggering you. That's not man though, right? Male and man. That's a different build though. But I get it and I understand. One of the interesting things I hear about, and when I'm hearing these conversations about women, is the guy talking, right? And I follow a philosophy of you do indeed have to study to show thyself approved. You have to study to show thyself approved. I believe that, right? So when the guys are talking, I'll be like, damn, did he study? Men are speaking up. This is what guys tell me. Now we're speaking up and it's a problem. No, it's not a problem. But are you speaking up from study? Where is the speaking up deriving from? Is it coming from a place of study? Right? And if it is, what's your philosophy? Let's get into that for a second. Right? What's your philosophy? Every man needs philosophy, right? You need philosophy. So what this is right here is every known philosophy that has came out the human mind. Every known philosophy that has came out the human mind. Now, when you males are talking about hair, makeup, and nails, what you're talking about is a de facto philosophy called aestheticism. But you're talking about it perverted because you come from poverty, right? But it's actually a philosophy called aestheticism. I really do this. But let's look at your philosophy because y'all are focused on hair and nails, right? But what is the actual philosophy though? Aestheticism, a loosely defined movement in art and literature, popular in stop right there. We got to stop already. Because when you are talking about women's cosmetic, you're not talking about literature. And what you're actually talking about is not art neither. These are your preferences have nothing to do with art. So I just want you to know that you're actually engaged in a type of philosophy, but you're just doing it wrong though. So when you're looking at women and you're saying these preferences, the word for it, for real, is aesthetics. Your preferences is based on aesthetics, right? Facial symmetry. You like women that look like this. You have a biological reaction to this type of face. You necessarily don't even know why. That's what you're attracted to. Fine. Cool. But the word is aesthetics, and it comes from a philosophy of aestheticism, a loosely defined movement in art and literature popular in the 19th century Britain, which held that art does not have any didactic purpose. It need only be beautiful, and that life should imitate art. The main characteristics of the movement were suggestion rather than statement. Stop right there. When y'all talk about women, if you are practicing the philosophy of aestheticism, are you making a statement or are you suggesting? Because it sounds like a lot of statements. Y'all should do this. Y'all should do. Should is not suggestion. Should is judgment. Oh, y'all should wear your natural hair. That's judgment. That's not a suggestion. You could use the word recommend. See, because recommend gives an individual an out. They could or not, but it's a recommendation. And then you say, why? Oh, because you look like a white woman? That's not a recommendation. That's an opinion. Because we in America and everybody copy everybody at this point. So please miss me with that. Miss me with that. All right. So let's take it from the top. Aestheticism, a loosely defined movement in art and literature, popular in the late 19th century Britain, that held that art does not have any didactic purpose. It need only be beautiful, and that life should imitate art. The main characteristics of the movement were suggestion rather than statement, sensuality, massive use of symbols, and synesthetic effects, that is, correspondence between words, colors, and music. Hmm. So is aestheticism your philosophy, fellas? When you are having this conversation about the way women look? Well, if so, then you have to include music, colors, and words. You're off in your aesthetic philosophy. And aestheticism is not based on statements, it's based on suggestion and the massive use of symbols, for the record. But I think it would be wise for y'all to go through here and find you a philosophy for you to sit with. Huh? It could be anything. Is it anti-realism? Aristotelianism? Hmm? What is it? Is it atheism, atomism, authoritarianism? And when you find these philosophies, you find the thinkers that made the philosophy popular. And you sit with the ideals, right? You audit it. You try to put the ideals in practice to see if you can live it yourself. For example, behavioralism, an approach in political science that seeks to provide an objective, quantified approach to explaining and predicting political behavior. It is associated with the rise of the behavioral sciences, modeled after natural sciences. It should not be confused with behaviorism of psychology. And I'm sorry, that was behavioralism. Did you know there was a term called a philosophy called biologism? Hmm? Basically, biological determinism. You heard them terms before? Yeah, I can nerd out for real, for real. Have you heard of biological determinism? Hmm? Well, let's read it. The interpretation of humans and human life from a strongly biological point of view. It is closely related to and used interchangeably with genetic determinism. Philosophies, y'all. And this is what ancient man used to talk about with other men. Stuff like this. And when y'all talk about women in the marketplace, I got a word for you. It's right here. Huh? Careerism. Use that word. The desire to advance one's own career as a sole aim in life, often at the expense of personal and social growth or development. Some people want to be like that. But did you know it was a philosophy, y'all? It was an actual thing? No, you know, you simply judging. Oh, because the woman might be practicing a philosophy called careerism. It's a philosophy. What's yours? It's not hair, makeup, and nails, because that would be aestheticism. But we already proved y'all not practicing that. So what are you studying to show thyself approved with? And a better thing is, who is the one approving you? Who have you been approved by? Hmm? Who's vouching for you? Hmm? Study to show thyself approved. Cool. Who are you being approved by? That's super important. Who are you being approved by? Hmm? You're making these comments. What is the root of these comments, though? Where do they come from? Hmm? Hear counsel and receive instructions that thou mayest be wise in the later day. Hold on. What, so you can be what in the later day? So you can be what? Wise. The root word of wisdom is wise. Hear counsel and receive instruction that thou mayest be wise in thy later end. Sorry, end. Receive instruction. First off, you have to be a certain kind of guy that can receive instruction, because the instruction might be mixed with correction. And you have to have a certain character to be able to be corrected. It says, hear counsel and receive instruction that thou mayest be wise in thy later end. Now, when y'all be on y'all panels and y'all groups, this is what I think to myself. What counsel are these people around? And I can tell by the way that y'all talk that y'all don't receive any instructions, because you're on a faulty foundation. So anybody that come corrects you and instructs you, you're going to call them a name. Y'all know all the names. I don't have to get into it. But anything that is in the form of instruction, also, it's going to be correct. It's going to be connected to correction. Y'all rebel against. You're a rebellious people, period. Representing rebellious nature, right? Where you will murder those that come to instruct you, and you run away from counsel. You know why? Because you don't want to be wise. Because in order to be wise, you have to be instructed. And in order to be instructed, you have to first be corrected. Who have you been approved by? That's a good question, right? So I don't think nothing of it at all when y'all make y'all comments, or even when you come to challenge me, because I could just read the comment and understand where you're coming from. We're in two different spaces, right? I'll entertain it, but I understand that we got two different trajectories. I'm planning on being an elder, and I'm preparing at 37 for that role to be an elder, right? I also can be corrected and instructed. Why? Because I want to be wise in my later day. Right? And talking the way that y'all talk is not the path to be wise in your later day. And here's why you need to be wise in your later day. Because as we age, it's not really the body per se that goes, it's people's minds. And we spend most of our time in old age. We are older way longer than we are younger. So it's important as you age, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. It's important that you are wise. It's important you have your mind, right? Whatever age you are, just think about it right now. You may have 50 or 60 more summers left. That's a long time. So it's important that you hear counsel, receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy later end. I don't dislike you. I'm you. But you're incorrect. And I understand, because I've been incorrect, and I be incorrect sometimes. Right? But I can be corrected. And then I could be instructed. Right? I love that verse right there. It means a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take a break. I need some water. Real quick break. And we'll be right back. I appreciate y'all. If you haven't liked and shared the video, man, I be getting killed on the likes and slaughtered on the likes. But you know what? If I'm low on the likes and low on the shares, that's fine. As long as I'm high on the money. So that's what it is. I'll be right back.
Biggest game, it's like, remember we was all back in high school? Some of you may be still in high school or whatever, but follow me. We had the regular class, and then you had honors class. And I feel like Ken Billion's game is nothing but honors class. Everything that you learned in life and been through in life, or whatever he's talking about at that certain time, and like point of reference, game for guys. Everybody learn game from somebody and this and that, and it's all over the place. But once I listened to Game for Guys, it was like being in an honors class. Ken is a brilliant guy. I still listen to him to this day. Listen to him almost every other day, and I stay studying. And if I look at a video and he's giving us homework, I'm gonna look through that video. I'm gonna write my notes down. I'm gonna do my homework. Then I'm gonna watch the next video. I mean, you just can't get enough of the game and the knowledge that this brother brings to you. He's allowed me to look back into history, my own history. I found out about black people that I never even knew about, black millionaires and people like that. Recently, I learned about the reticular activating system, and that's something that I'm studying up on as we speak. Which I plan on reprogramming myself. You know what I'm saying? So overall, the Ken Billion's game has done a lot for me. It's allowed me to elevate as a man, as a father. It just allowed me to be more excited about life and not be in the program of being oppressed. And that's one of the main things for me that I have to say that this game has done for me. And I'm so glad that I ran across it.
Had to do some behind the scenes stuff. All right, so listen, everybody hear me? Everything good? Look, I want to talk about slaying the dragon for manhood, right? I could be wrong, but I think I'm on to something. This involution thing. And I always preach that there's a difference between male and man. I stand on that. I believe it. But how does the male get to man, right? Now, some people would say providing. A male doing for you does not make him a man. Okay? Let's be clear on that, right? Because if you're not around, if he reached manhood, he's still man. If he's in the forest by himself, he's still a man. So he doesn't need you to be around for him to be a man. The manhood journey is a solo act. The providing and the provision, that's just a byproduct of when the manhood occurs. But how does the manhood occur? How does this animal that is born, that is male, right? How does it transition from this male body into man psychology? Through slaying the dragon. All right. This is what I remember being young, and like old people used to watch, like Hercules and stuff like that, right? Right. So I used to watch it with them, right? So this is from Jason and the Argonauts, right? So they would make movies about Medusa and the Titans and all that, right? But it wasn't about the monster. It wasn't about Medusa or the Titans or the one-eyed Cyclops. It wasn't about that. What it was about was conquering fear to defeat this thing right here. Look at this. Look at how big it is. It looks impossible. It looks like there's no way to triumph over this. And we might die, right? But the conquering of fear creates an expansion in involution. And that's how the man psychology is developed. It's getting on the other side of the thing that makes you the most afraid. The first conquering that happens with the man is himself. It's easy to put a woman in quote unquote submission. It's easy to make men follow you. It's easy to go and dominate other humans. If you have the technology, that's easy. What's not easy is to calm your own biological urges, to master hunger, to master sex, to master anger, to master jealousy. The things that are occurring in you, that is a very hard thing to put down. It is easy to make a woman do what you want her to do, especially if you got some money. Shit. Shit, with a couple dollars, I seen the baddest women do the nastiest things. No judgment. And with money, I seen so-called hard dudes get real in pocket and start calling the dude with money big bro. Huh. That's easy, right? Because humans are slave to desire, right? So if you have what they want, they'll get in line. But what male can master fear and hunger, right? And his own desire and his own double-mindedness. So when you're watching these Greek tales or any tales where the person has to go slay the dragon, that's not about the dragon. It's about the involution process that the male can do to become something else. Understand what I'm telling you right now. That man is not from this planet. and neither is woman. Woman is the spiritual reality that the female can achieve. She is not woman because she can have a child. That's just biology. She is not woman because she gets a menstrual cycle. That is biology. But if the female can divorce herself from her emotions and look at it abstractly, that means her emotions no longer control her. She controls it. She is in psychology. Now she's able to turn her emotions on and off like that, depending on the situation. But for the female that can't control her emotions, she's not a woman because the emotions are part of the meat suit. It's not part of the spirit. It's not metaphysical. The emotions stay here on earth. Likewise for the male. For the male to conquer the libido, to conquer this drive to want to have sex with as many women as possible and stick to the goal and focus. Do you understand what he's using to do that is not of this world? Every male can't do that. It's accessing something beyond the physical. Man and woman are beyond the physical. And it is our gift when we do the work. So what this represents, what you're seeing, some of you may have watched this with your grandfathers or older people in your life. And yeah, the graphics are cheesy, right? They did remakes of this stuff. It's not about the beast. It's about the involution that occurs when you face this right here. The odds are against you. You might die, but still you stay, right? And you rise above, right? Hey, ain't it interesting how in Mario Brothers, it's a mushroom that made him get big, right? He gets big from a mushroom. That's interesting, right? But did he get big in size, or did he get big from the insides and it looks like his body grew, right? And then guess what? He gets the mushroom to get bigger, right? And then he's able to spit little fire pellets when he gets a plant. Huh. Look, it is not the path for manhood to look at the woman in your group in judgment and assess everything wrong with her. That's not the path, right? That's not the path. The path is for you to go inward. And if you as a male go inward and become man, what you found out going on the inside would radiate outside of you. And people will see that. And that influence will subdue everybody around you. And that's why you got to be the genuine article. What is the genuine article? The genuine article is the real thing, right? It's the authentic. That means none before you and none to come, right? The homie that's rapping is the only one that has it, right? How many of you can show up to a woman as the genuine article? I listen to all these dating coaches. They never talk about being the genuine article. How many women actually look up to you as a dude? How many women think like, I want to be like you? Hmm? And you inspire? Hmm? You teach? People learn from you, right? What is your sex life producing, right? Where are the women that you have had sex with? What are they doing now? Of course you're going to say you don't care. Because why would you, right? Pump and dump, right? Wrong. That's all a representation of us. Trust me. And I got some things that I took for the team back in the day that is still a representation of me, right? That's a representation of me. That's a representation of my mind. So I can't talk about her looks without talking about my mind first. I can't say that she's ratchet without talking about my mind first. I can't say she's this or that without first talking about my mind because my mind created her. Thoughts are things, right? Like attracts like, right? So if a woman is in my space, I can't talk about her first without talking about my mind. She is not independent of my thoughts. My thought is the reason why she's in my life. When you are the genuine article, though, you show up a certain type of way, right? Y'all dating coaches are instructing these dudes the wrong way. Y'all say y'all about male improvement, but the best way to improve is to be the real, authentic thing. Y'all don't talk about that. Y'all don't mention that. Pump and dump. These are 30-something-year-old men that say stuff like that, right? Pump and dump. First of all, that's take it from one of America's best whores. Oh yeah, I'm in the top 10 of whoredom. I done whored in Motel Sixes. All right. I done whored in Hyatts in the back of cars. I done whored outside on park benches. I done whored in the hallway of the housing complex. I whored in the Job Corps bathroom, right? Any place you can think of, I done whored. And I can tell you right now that the pump and dump lifestyle that y'all are promoting is not good, right? Now, yeah, women like to have sex too. Cool. It don't gotta be pump and dump, right? It's a respect thing, right? She about what you about. That's another thing. I'm gonna say this, right? When y'all have sex with women and y'all think that y'all getting off on the woman, let me tell y'all some behind the scenes thing in case y'all didn't know this, right? And you wouldn't know this because y'all create female nature in your mind. Listen, no matter what you're doing to a woman sexually, you're not getting off on her. She likes that, right? She wants you to leave. She actually don't mind if you don't call. See, let me tell you something that you understand. The way the male is an animal, the female is also an animal. And she has a body part on her that's for pure pleasure. The clitoris, the only purpose that it serves is for pleasure. Y'all know that, right? right? It's not for reproduction. The only reason that the clitoris exists is to experience pleasure. Hmm. So when you think that you're getting off, so is she, right? And usually the only time they get in their feelings is because y'all started it first. A lot of women be trying to give y'all the 615, kicking you out. You be better at your own house. And you come with all this confusion. I know. Because in my business, I read the text messages. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So I see the behind the scenes stuff. And I'm only saying that because I really think y'all, yeah, man, you calling out your boy. Yeah, I hate that. See, that's why the pump and dump is bad, because there's no respect there. If there was respect there, then the woman would tell you their psychology, not what y'all think. Another thing, this is why y'all got to focus on manhood. Men think the vagina is more sacred than women do. Y'all tell women about their vagina. Oh, it's so sacred. You shouldn't have people in it. You should do this. And she like, nigga, where the pipe at? Y'all really be y'all good PR for the yoni. And the woman is like, where the pipe? Like, what are you talking about? It's a body part. You know what I'm saying? The dudes are, yo, you need to respect yourself. She like, man, slut me out. Now let me get back. Listen, listen. The genuine article is the real thing. And when you are the real thing, you have the ability to influence others. And there's no force in the world stronger than influence, right? The influence to make human beings do this or that. The influence to make a person that would usually say yes say no. The influence to make a person that would usually say no say yes, right? To make a person dress differently, behave differently, with non-contact though, right? Just by being who you are. That is a skill set, right? And when you are the genuine article, you walk through the door in that spirit, right? You are the real thing. So for the men that want to have an influence on women, because it seems like you do, anybody can influence people with money. Don't get it twisted, right? So what people do because you got a couple dollars, eh, influence is outside of money. You the genuine article, and you just showing up, and your presence and your mind frame and your conversation, the way you think, the way that you carry yourself, everything about you influences another person. And they want to be like you. They want to pick your brain. They want to sit next to you. And they are willing to shoot concrete for you, right? They are willing to change their lives because of you. So if you care about hair and makeup and women going natural and all that, if you really, really cared, then you be the genuine article and you show up as a person that a woman would look up to. Not as a big brother. None of that. Since you have character things she don't have. And she would like to be around you to emulate those character things. Right? Something about you. Want to hang out with you, man. You're different. Right? So if you show up like that, you can make anybody, not make, you can, people choose it on their own to become what you are. And man, that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. So where's your mind at? Where's your mind hanging out at? Every YouTube platform represents the mind, right? Every YouTube platform represents where the mind is hanging out, right? So where's your mind? Have you found it? Are you looking for it? Right? Do you want it? When's the last time you've talked to it? Right? Where's your mind? Is it in the gutter? Huh? Is it in toxic environments? Is it safe? Where's your mind? Right? I recommend that for the males that have a desire to be more than this body, which is man. And being a man is it's a hard thing, but it's a beautiful thing. It really is. But it's difficult. But for those that desire that, I recommend that you go find your mind, because it's with places that people don't even care about you. They don't care about your well-being. They don't care if the information that they are putting out is leading you down the wrong path. They don't care about your health. They don't care about you and the person you have a child with getting along. They don't care. They care about AdSense and super chats. I care about AdSense and super chats. No question. I'm about some bread for sure. You seen what I do when that bread hit, and I see anything regarding $1. I'm a boogie woogie. But I care about people, which is hard in a world of things and stuff. It's all it's about, things and stuff, right? I'm not going to be nicer to you because you have a nice car. I don't change that. If you solid, you solid. If you corny, you corny. I don't change, right? That's called partiality. I'm not going to treat someone different because they got a bag. What does that mean, right? Where's your mind? You got to go find it, because it's not, you don't have possession of it, right? Other people do, and they're playing with it, and they're pumping your mind full of misinformation. They're pumping your mind full of things that don't scale, right? And they keeping you into a scientific racist stereotype that the Negro cannot go above the neck, that the Negro is stuck in his body. This is all he can be, is a breeder, right? Don't worry. We'll let the Negro do all the lifting, all the strong stuff, while we manage him. And that's a slap in the face of people that came before you that were trailblazers in intellect. George Washington Carver is a trailblazer in intellect. Benjamin Banneker is a trailblazer in intellect. For Reginald Lewis to be a billionaire in corporate America in the 90s, that means he's a trailblazer in intellect. And this is what y'all do with those people work. I thought y'all put on for the homies. I like to laugh and play and game and joke like the rest of them. Gotta handle business first, though. And business is not being handled. So I say, find your mind. Because somebody has it. And it ain't you. Find your mind. Who got your mind? Huh? What YouTube platform got your mind over there? Hmm? And what are they doing with it? You trusted them to have your mind. You gave them your mind because you thought that they had your best interests. So when you get your mind back, you got to find it first. But when you get it back, look inside of it. and look and pay attention what they put in your mind. And you tell me, is that love? My name Ken Billions, and that's all I got. And if you a man, mind your own business.
Peace world, what up though? It's your boy Maurice Ager, aka Mo Ager, former first round draft pick of the Dallas Mavericks. Played about 5 years in the NBA, 3 different teams, Grammy nominated musician, and I'm reporting live from Vietnam, Hanoi baby, all the way in Asia. And I want to throw a quick shout out to my guy Ken Billies. Ken Brisbane is the truth. Alright, make sure y'all check my man's out. Game. He's one of those few people that's gonna give you the truth and show you how to balance this whole thing out. No fluff, no bullshit, all real talk.
Hit me on the hotline. Go